A man stands alone in a vast, empty apartment. He is not waiting for anyone. This is the central haunting image of Mikael Håfström's 2005 film Slingshot, a work that asks what remains of a person when every external tether is cut, and the only connections left are those etched into memory. The film, titled Kraftidieten in its native Swedish, translates more directly as the power idiot, a phrase that hints at the protagonist's futile struggle against forces beyond his control. It is a story of quiet desperation, told not with shouts, but with the meticulous, almost forensic observation of a life in stasis. Its production was an exercise in restraint. Director Mikael Håfström, transitioning from the horror of drowning ghosts to this intimate character study, collaborated with cinematographer Peter Mokrasinski to craft a visual language of isolation. They favored static, composed frames, often placing the protagonist, Leo, played with devastating stillness by Jesper Christiansen, at the edge of the frame, surrounded by negative space. The apartment itself, a character of stark modernity, was a carefully chosen location. Its cold surfaces and minimalist design were meant to feel both luxurious and profoundly empty, a gilded cage reflecting Leo's internal state. The sound design, sparse and precise, amplifies every scrape of a chair, every sigh, making the silence a palpable presence. Leo is a former police officer, recently released from prison for a crime of passion. The narrative engine is simple. He seeks to reconnect with his estranged son. Yet, Slingshot is less about the pursuit of this goal and more about the landscape of failure it traverses. Every attempt at contact is met with a barrier, a closed door, an unanswered phone, averted eyes. This structure allows the film to dwell on its central theme, the architecture of memory and regret. Leo's past is not presented in flashbacks, but is felt in the weight he carries. Christensen's performance is a masterclass in internalization. His eyes hold a history of violence and loss that the script never needs to verbalize. The film meticulously dissects masculine fragility. Leo's training was in control and authority, yet he is now utterly powerless. His physicality, once a tool of his profession, is now useless. A key scene shows him practicing a quick draw with an unloaded gun, a ritualistic, empty gesture that underscores how his old identity has become a meaningless performance. Contrast is provided by the few characters who drift into his orbit. A lonely neighbor, a wary ex-colleague, a sympathetic bartender. These interactions are brief, transactional, and often end in disappointment. They highlight not potential connection, but the protocols and defenses people erect to avoid it. Leo has become a ghost in the machine of the city, seen but not acknowledged. Håfström's direction finds profound meaning in the mundane. The act of making coffee, staring out a window, or riding an elevator becomes a site of intense psychological drama. Time stretches and contracts. A single day feels like an eternity, mirroring Leo's purgatorial existence between a past he cannot change and a future he cannot access. The title Slingshot is deeply ironic. It suggests a projectile launched with force and purpose. Leo's life, however, has no trajectory. He is the stone that never leaves the pouch, caught in the tension of the elastic. His potential energy, his love, his guilt, his hope, has nowhere to go, turning inward into a slow, corrosive force. This inertia is challenged by the film's climax, a moment of sudden, shocking violence. It is not a cathartic release, but a tragic confirmation. It demonstrates how the pressure of isolation can distort even the most well-intentioned impulse, transforming a reach for connection back into an act of destruction. It is the past violently reasserting itself. The conclusion offers no easy redemption. The final shots return to quietude, but it is a quietude changed by understanding. Leo is perhaps more alone than ever, yet the film's gaze has bestowed a tragic dignity upon his solitude. We are left not with a lesson, but with a profound empathy for the weight of a single fractured life. Slingshot operates in the tradition of European psychological realism, recalling the works of Michelangelo Antonioni in its study of alienation within modern spaces. Yet, it possesses a distinctly Scandinavian chill, emotional austerity that makes its fleeting moments of vulnerability all the more devastating. In an era of cinema often dominated by noise and motion, Slingshot is a compelling argument for stillness. It proves that tension does not require cross-cutting and a score. It can reside in the anticipation of a phone ringing, or in the way a man holds his body when he knows he is not welcome. The film's power lies in its refusal to judge its protagonist. It observes, it presents the evidence of a life, the empty apartment, the failed calls, the guarded conversations, and allows us to sit with the uncomfortable, unresolved truth of it. There is no villain here except circumstance and the human heart's limited capacity to heal itself. Ultimately, Slingshot is a film about the distance between people, measured not in miles but in silences and unsaid words. It is a haunting reminder that connection is not a given, but a fragile, continuous act of negotiation, and that sometimes the elastic snaps, leaving us alone with the echo of what we tried and failed to hold. Thank you for watching until the end. We pour our passion into every single video essay, exploring the stories behind the movies we all love. If you stumbled upon this video by chance, there is a very high probability you might never see our channel again in your feed, so please take a moment to hit that subscribe button, leave a like, and ring the bell. We are actively growing this community of cinema lovers, and your support is what helps us make our content better and more insightful every single day. Let's explore the magic of filmmaking together. See you in the next one.